earmuff, you stay on hard.
All right. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the BCSN SportsWrap. Brian Fulford, A.D. Drew, and joining us live, none other than Kelvin Carter. As you can see, Drew and I made it back to our home studios. Kelvin is somewhere in a beautiful location. Looks like there's some I don't know. You don't have to disclose where you at, but how you doing tonight?
He ain't in no beautiful location. He in Atlanta, man.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Drew wouldn't give you that one. I tried to hype it up for you, Kelvin.
I mean, they got the tree, because if you look at it at the right angle, it might look like a palm tree and everything behind them. No, that's not a palm tree, dog.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. I saw the palm tree.
That is a palm tree.
Oh, that is a palm tree?
Come on.
It's important. It's definitely important.
I'm down here in Florida. I know what a palm tree looks like from that location. So I figured that's what was going on, man. But what's good, Kelvin?
Hey, man, just having a great weekend here in Atlanta, here for Spellhouse. Undefeated, the best HBCU homecoming experience. It's fabulous. The family, the friends, the atmosphere, the camaraderie. It was just incredible. And thanks to Drew for, the support and just the access. It's incredible.
Do what I can with the credentials that I have, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful, Brian.
Really
I tell you, it's something else.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I mean, this time of year, 13 schools had 12 or 13 had homecomings with homecoming games attached to it. So, I mean, it's always interesting to kind of hear the debates of who has the quote unquote best. But I think one thing is in common with all of these is the sense of pride, love, enthusiasm. And I don't think any teams. Well, somebody did lose, but I was gonna say not too many teams lost their homecoming. There were a few, but not too many did. So it's always always a wonderful experience. I think in general, most of the time.
Yeah. And also I'm gonna say this, and it's especially encouraging hearing something like this from Kelvin. Obviously he did his own homecoming on last week, and we as HBCU alums, we take pride in our individual homecomings. Kelvin being an Alcorn grad, me being a FAMU grad, me being a Tuskegee grad, Brian being a FAMU grad. Your homecoming, especially when you compare it to your undergrad experience, is one thing, but when you get to adulthood, especially mid adulthood, and you really look at these a little bit more objectively, because even going back to your own institution as an adult is not the same as when you were there. That's when you really get to comparing good homecoming experience, because you look for a lot more different things as an adult. When you're in school, the biggest thing is what time is kickoff, what time is the party. I never saw a parade as an undergrad. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I never saw a parade until 20 some odd years after I had graduated, a homecoming parade. I don't know about y'all. So that was one homecoming experience I never had until I was a deep adult. So
So I had seen, Drew, for me growing up on Alcorn's campus, I had always seen the parades. I've seen the festivities since the time I could remember, around 1980 all the way up till now. And what I've seen, as you know, as you mature, you look for different things. And what I saw at Morehouse was, one, extreme organization, two, attention to safety and the details. I've never seen that many people amassed in one place. I only saw about two EMS incidents, and I didn't see one incident of anything other than just love and camaraderie between the oldest group to the youngest group. So for me, seeing that all in one place was just like an incredible experience.
Nice, nice. Let's get into it because with us kind of starting a little later, we only got Kelvin here until the top of the hour. We got a lot to go through. It was a relatively quiet Saturday for the Division I teams, but it was a full plate of games for the CIAA and SIAC. So while we got Kelvin, let's kind of start on the D1 side. Going into it, there was two games that I had circled, actually three that I had circled because they were games that teams needed wins. Obviously, in Tallahassee, you had two teams, Alcorn, FAMU, both needed a win. On the Bluff for homecoming, Southern needed a win. And then Grambling State traveling to UAPB. Interesting ball game. Grambling, I thought, needed the win just to avoid being 0-3. Let's start with in Tallahassee. Rattlers get a 33. Well, what was the final score? 33-28.
27, 28, something like that.
Yeah, 33-28. 33-28 was the final score. A game in which Alcorn had jumped out to a 14-6 lead at one point in the second quarter. FAMU had cut it to 14-9, and then kind of exploded in the third quarter and jumped out to as much as a 12-point lead at one point in the fourth quarter before a late touchdown. Alcorn cut it to 5. But Kelvin, one of the things that I was worried about from the FAMU side was, could we slow down Jacorian Sewell? Could we deal with Reggie Davis? Two quality running backs that Alcorn has, Sewell being the top running back in the conference. FAMU held him to 17 yards. Davis, I think he had 50. In total, Alcorn 300 yards of offense. Where is Alcorn? What are Alcornites talking after that loss?
So I was there last week for homecoming, and everybody made a really strong point to talk about. This is about supporting our student athletes and these kids. And there's a lot of talk about the team per se, but I think at, what are we now, 1-5 or 1-6?
1-6, yeah, 1-6.
At 1-6, and you kind of see some of the same reoccurring trends with the team. It's almost one of those things where people aren't going in and being bashful, because at this point we have young people here who dedicated their time, that came to camp. So going on the road to FAM, we knew would be a challenge. Actually, surprisingly, we put up some good numbers. The rushing numbers were a little down. It was only 16 attempts total. Well, not 16, 29, 30 attempts total, with 13 of them going to Sewell, and 9 going to Davis and 7 to Tolbert. And it was interesting enough that Tolbert actually rushed for 57 yards. I mean, he was running for his life at that point. But in seeing that when you're a QB who's not a runner, and that's been one of the things that they talked about all season, I just think it's a foregone conclusion. We're just looking forward to turning the page, looking at the talent, evaluating where we are. What are the next steps for coming back and having a good time in the SWAC for the next season? But it's a lot of evaluation to be done right now. And, people have been in low places, and we're in a low place right now. But, it's not for lack of effort. It's not for lack of attempting to prepare for these games. So there are some interesting pieces. We had a couple of kids leave the team last week. So, Ernest, Emmett, you were correct in saying that. But kudos to FAM. It's homecoming. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't care who you're playing. whether it's Lincoln, whether it's FAM, whether it's Grambling, whether it's UAPB, wants to lose on homecoming. So we came in prepared to take FAM's best punch. And to be honest with you, I think FAM is in a lot of the same territory that we are with regards to what alumni are saying about the coaching staffs and all these things. So it will be an interesting offseason of evaluation of everyone involved with the program.
Drew, what's your evaluation on that game? Somebody needed a win. One team got it, one team didn't. Will the noise be any quieter on the winning side?
No. And the reason being, right now in 2025, you were talking about two teams who were at the bottom of the SWAC. So a lot of people are probably talking about, hey, you beat one of the worst teams in the SWAC. You've got another bad team coming up. That's from the FAMU side. Alcorn is just, you're hoping Alcorn doesn't spiral at this point. You hope that the Braves doesn't lose the locker room. That's what you're hoping, that the coaching staff does not lose that Braves locker room. The Braves did look better than they have in the past, but they still are missing that one key element. What that key element is, we don't know what it is, but they are still missing something. There is optimism in Tallahassee because mathematically, FAMU is still there.
I'm glad you think there's optimism. Look, I thought I was the only person who had optimism, but by the sounds of it, I'm too close to the sun.
Real. With that victory over Alcorn, you're gonna be favored over Southern. Now, that puts you at 2-1 going up against Jackson State. FAMU will be a heavy underdog at 2-1 going up against Jackson State. Heavy, double-digit underdog, no question about it.
For sure.
But a broken clock is right twice a day, Brian. It could happen. I would not put your pizza money on it, but it could happen. And that is the thing, because while Alcorn may have mathematically eliminated themselves from the SWAC West, FAMU is still very well in contention mathematically.
All right. Don't want to spend
and Blue Jacket. Hold up. I gotta say this. Blue Jacket, you're right. They do not look like a good team right now. But how many times have we seen a good team let a bad team hang around, and then a fumble, an interception, a holding call at the right time, pass interference, something gives that team hope. And if you let a wounded dog lie, he's gonna come back to bite you. That's what the FAMU faithful are hoping for. That's all you can hope for if you're a Rattler. Because truth be told, FAMU may be the last team on the east side that could possibly take down Jackson State. They've already beaten Bethune. They've already beaten Alabama State.
Hold on, Blue Jacket, I'm the one with the hope. What are you talking about? Blue Jacket, I'm the one with the hope. I can't tell you the countless numbers of people coming up to me.
And this is and people don't
I'm the
remember.
one with hope.
This is not
I'm the
Jackson
one out there
State
saying
hate.
Keep hope alive. That's
Kelvin,
me.
bail us out.
I'm playing the role of Jesse Jackson out there at tailgate. Keep hope alive, Rattlers. Keep hope alive. I got people.
Bail us out, Kelvin.
Right. It's over with for both of us at this point. This is evaluating the talent, understanding what it is. Look, keep the kids in mind. We need them to keep coming, keep showing up, keep working hard, and understanding that this is not about the adults in the room. This is about these kids. And if you keep them at the forefront, we can stop having this conversation.
Okay, that's a great point. I'm just fascinated with. Look, we're in such a very unique time and place in college football from many different angles. But I have look. Okay, let's move forward because I know we're here for it. We only have you for so long, Kelvin. I want to go to the Bluff. I want to go to Southern because
Ooh.
yeah, look.
Hey, we ain't in bad company.
Okay, let me ask this question, Kelvin. I want you to rank. Hold on, somebody pull up the standings. I got them right here. I'm gonna pull up the SWAC standings.
Hey,
hold on, Kelvin. The bottom 6 teams in the SWAC, and I want you to rank them. Now, previously, Grambling State was a part of the bottom 6, but they have managed to squeeze their way out of it by virtue of winning against UAPB. So these are the bottom 6 teams in the SWAC. According to the standings, I'm taking the bottom 3 from the East, bottom 3 from the West. Florida A&M, Florida A&M, Alabama A&M, Mississippi Valley State, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Alcorn State, Southern.
Okay.
How would you rank them? Rank them if you could from 7 to 12. 7 to 12.
It would be A&M.
Which one?
Alabama A&M.
Okay. That would be 7. Go ahead. I had to get that in there. Go ahead.
Alabama, you talking about the highest rank, right?
You got from 7, right? Because we're going bottom 6. Bottom 6.
Yeah. It would be A&M.
Alabama A&M at 7. Okay.
Right. Southern.
Wait, say that again?
Southern Baton Rouge.
Well, wait a minute. Who would be 8?
No, 7 is Alabama A&M.
Right.
8 is UAPB.
Okay.
9 is Grambling.
No, Grambling's not in the bottom. Not in the bottom.
They're not in the bottom. You're right.
Now you could put them in there if you want to put them in there. Go ahead.
So look, then you can just pull Valley, Southern, and Alcorn out of a hat.
So where would you put FAMU at 9?
They would be 9, and then all of the teams that have not won a game it'd be Valley, Southern, Alcorn.
Okay, so that's your bottom 3. Just mix it up in a bag and toss it around, right?
Right. Valley, and this is what's interesting about this, right? Valley might be the better out of all of those, but I think A&M is probably the most competitive out of all of those. But it's something about Valley that kind of they're a little intriguing just based upon who their coach is, where they are. They had been in the doldrums for so long. They're not playing like their record reflects.
I agree. From a performance level of the bottom 3, Valley is probably playing better than Alcorn and Southern.
Yes.
Me personally, I've got Southern at the bottom. I got Southern at 12, Alcorn. Honestly, that's saying a lot. And I put Valley at 11 and Alcorn at 10. That's just me. Drew?
I'm actually, given the way that these other teams have played, Bryan, and I know they don't have a win, I'm probably putting Valley right behind Alabama A&M.
That's what I was saying. They play. Their record isn't indicative, but I will say this though, and I only had about a few minutes here. Here's when they make this argument around the division piece, and we've been hearing it back and forth, and people keep saying, "Oh, you're only saying that because you're a fan or you're anti-Jackson or whatever." The reality of this is, in my opinion, you would get the best SWAC championship, I think, moving forward, especially over the next 5 to 10 years, if it was the top 2 teams play for the SWAC championship. This is setting up for a really, really bad SWAC championship.
Wait a minute. Whoa, when you say bad isn't good or bad isn't bad?
No. What I'm saying is,
competitive.
Look at all these teams that we just ranked. Brother, we got between almost 7 teams, there's only 4 victories. If you were to just rank this thing top to bottom, it would be a better SWAC championship with the top 2 teams in the SWAC championship. This other division, the West Division winner, unless TC pulls the brakes off of it, it's not going to come within 3 touchdowns.
Wow.
They're not.
But Kelvin, here's the thing. Right now, you're probably still going to have the top 2 teams record-wise in the championship, whether you go East-West or whether you put them all in one pot, because right now, clearly, the 1 and 2 are going to be Jackson State and Prairie View. Right now, as of today.
Right now.
So putting them all in one pot, we get the same result.
Yeah.
Today.
Whoa, no. Hold on.
That may change because Prairie View and Alabama State go head up.
That's what I
against
was
each
about
other.
to say. I think,
But as of today,
but what I'm saying is, I think we would end up, and if this plays out right, it'll be just like it was with FAM for a couple of years. We're going to end up with Bama State probably having the best record overall in this, but they're in the same division. That's all I'm getting at.
Dr. Cavill asked, what if Prairie View and Texas Southern both beat Alabama State?
And I think I'll probably be a member of another ethnic group tomorrow, if that happens.
Wow. Hold on. Let me bring it back to where we started this conversation with Southern, right? Southern right now sitting at 1-6, 0-3. Southern it loses 24-3 last night on homecoming, a wet night. Just raining, all kinds of bad weather. They end up losing 24-3. Southern's offense, if you go back and look now, who was it who just said we beat Valley? We beat Valley. Great. You beat Valley 34-29 the second week of the season. You gave up 29 points and barely got out of Mississippi Valley State, Adrian. I love you, but I don't know if I'd be bragging that I beat Valley by 5 points. The reason I say that is because that was your high output of the season. Southern has not scored more than 14 points prior to or since that game. Matter of fact, losing, only scored 3 points last night. 14 when they got blown out 45-14 at Bethune. Only scored 13 as they got blown out 38-13 by Jackson State. Only scored 7 points against Fresno. That's to be expected, right?
We get it, Brian.
Okay, you get it. But here's the thing. Something unprecedented happened last night. Post-game press conference. In the world that we're living in, most coaches do the post-game press conference by themselves. But you started seeing reports by media that's covering Southern taking note of the fact that athletic director Roman Banks was in the room listening. Right? And then to go one step further, A.D. Banks takes the mic. And here's a snippet of that. And this is courtesy of, I got this from Brendan Fairburn, but a lot of people had this audio clip. So this is just the one video that I downloaded, but a lot of Southern New Orleans area media. So here's the comments from A.D. Roman Banks regarding the future of Terrence Graves over, I guess, tomorrow.
Leadership and fans that all expect more. And so, we're going to take Monday and evaluate the process. We have made some changes that we thought that would make us better, promoting Coach McNair to co-offensive coordinator. And was hoping, we can get some energy in the room, but it seemed to not be working. And let me say this, a lot of times, coaching is funny. You can have some success here and then not be so successful some places and go. So it's not that you're a bad coach. I want to erase that, okay? It's about the right person for Southern University, the right coaching staff, and in our business, who can make your team win. That's the bottom line. And so my job is to evaluate the process. Do Coach Graves stay another day? You don't make decisions after a ball game. You sit down and you talk about it, because then in the room, for the student athletes, who give you the best chance to win the rest of your games? And are you comfortable with somebody in the room that can do that? And that's on the staff already if you did an interim situation. And so those are things that we have to discuss. Perhaps he may give us the best chance to win out, and then we let that stay in place, and then maybe we have to say that we, going to move forward. It's just I need to speak with him. I need to speak to the student athletes. I need to communicate with them and kind of get down to the bottom of it. But obviously, it's not trending well. We're not excited about it, and it's our job as coaches. And I've been in the business on that side before, so I understand. But it's our job to have the teams ready.
Post-game comments from athletic director Roman Banks, who's already gone through the process one time of getting rid of a coach before the season ends. Drew, what's your take on what that means, in your opinion, for Terrence Graves?
Well, Kelvin had to get out of here. He did have a flight to catch, so we want to wish Kelvin Godspeed. But Bryan, I could comment on this, but Bryan, no words are needed, Bryan. No words are needed.
Wow.
They have officially jumped off the ledge.
I don't think it's ever a good sign when your athletic director is giving post-game comments. Carlos Brown said he was on the sideline the whole game, which that had to be a miserable sight when you're losing 24-3. Some of those changes that he did mention, he mentioned the fact that Fred McNair is the OC, assistant head coach. He's basically the number one guy. If you look at, that seems to be, if they make the move, which a lot of you in the chat and maybe even a lot of people are speculating online, that may be where they go.
Can I cut you off, Bryan? Who is not there this year on the offensive side of the ball?
Who is not there?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know.
Willie Totten.
Well, yeah, because Willie Totten left to go to
Valley. Fort Valley.
Fort Valley.
Fort Valley.
Okay. Yeah, Totten left.
So
what is that? Are you implying something when you say that? Because remember, we questioned.
Think
Totten
about
left
how
Mississippi Valley State to go to Southern.
And think about how the offense has regressed this year. Yeah, he was the quarterback coach. I'm just making an observation, everybody.
I think there's more than just the quarterback. That's the issue. Remember, they made changes. They had, I sat and watched the interview where they brought in the OC. Carlos Brown had him on the show. He didn't even make it through he didn't even make it to the halfway point of the season before they had changed the OC and went to Fred McNair. Yeah. Listening to Southern folk who, I respect and more knowledgeable about Southern than me, they say Terrence Graves was the wrong hire from the jump. That's what they say. And now the question comes, as I saw, I think it was Zach say, can Roman Banks make the right hire? I don't even know what the right hire is at this point.
No. I think Zach asked that question the wrong way. Okay. Is Roman Banks actually making?
All right, thank you for the clarification, Carlos. Carlos said Frederick is still calling the running plays. So you got somebody calling the passing plays, somebody calling the running plays. Wow.
All right, and so we'll play rock, paper, scissors on who's going to call this next play.
What is this, a run play or that just sounds?
You ready, Bryan? You ready,
yeah.
Bryan?
Yeah,
Let's go. Run the pass.
Go. 1,
rock,
2, 3.
Let's go again.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, come on. Here we go. One more time. Here we go.
Hey, you know what just happened, Bryan? Delay a game.
That's unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. It's time to tear it all down. And I understand Southern folks. Southern folks who are saying tear it all down, I get it. But one thing I did hear Kelvin say, which I think you got to take in consideration, and this is the bigger picture across the landscape of college athletics. We're making these changes. You're seeing changes being made for now the fourth consecutive week on the FBS level. Major programs are getting rid of coaches. What is this doing to the student athletes they can't leave mid-season? They're still out there playing. right? And there used to be a time when we would tell young people, hey, let's go. You got to fight through adversity. You got to fight through a tough situation. But the grown folks are getting rid of the head coaches, the guys who most likely brought these guys in, the guys who have built the relationships with a lot of these players, and, you know, they've been the voice in the room, the head coaches, and now we're moving away. And I know college football is a business, but we're sacrificing something. We're sacrificing, and then when we get to talking about, everyone's going to start talking about the mental health, but come on now, guys, let's make it make sense. We're talking from both ends. We can't talk about it's a business and then at the same time talk about the mental health of the kids who are affected by these changes that adults are making, right? I mean, if you've got the money to get rid of a head coach in the second year of a 3-year or 4-year contract, somebody ought to be saying to these alums, well, if you guys are going to pony up $250,000, $300,000 to buy out a contract, I also want you to match it with another $200,000 and $300,000 into an NIL fund or an athletic or facilities fund. Don't just give me $250,000 to get rid of a coach when I got to go out and go get the next coach anyway, right? So if you're that eager to get rid of a coach, then pony up equal matching number for scholarships, summer scholarships, the NIL fund, the building fund, whatever, program improvements and needs. I don't care what you call it, right?
Can I ask a question? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Bryan, what was it about the 2024 hires? Because the way Southern is feeling about Graves, there are at least 5 to 6 programs who are feeling similar about their second-year coach. What was it about the 2020 coaches? What was it about the 2024 hiring cycle, or has the landscape of college athletics in football changed so much that these people missed the memo on something that they need to do with the 2024 hiring cycle? Be it the athletic directors making the decisions or the coaches that they brought in. Is this a struggle between old and new? I mean, it's an interesting case study. I've never seen so many coaches hired during the same coaching cycle struggle at the same point in time. And some of these coaches had success last year, relatively speaking.
Some people will say that they had success with the previous coaches' players.
You can't say that anymore, though, Bryan. With the way these kids can go in and out, this is not days of old where you had 80 players, 85 players left on your roster when somebody left. The moment the coach goes, you could automatically count 50 players out the door. If you're a head coach and you're coming in, if you don't have anywhere from 50 to 70 people ready to bring in to replenish the roster, you wasting your time in today's game.
Right. And the four coaches, and I don't think there was any more than 4 that Drew is talking about. You've got Mickey Joseph at Grambling State, currently 4-3 overall, but 1-2 in conference. Cedric Thomas at Alcorn State, 1-6, 0-3 in conference. Terrence Graves, 1-6, 0-3 in conference play. And James Colsey III, 2-4, 1-1 in conference play. And it's theoretically, it's still early in the conference season.
But we also saw good hires at Texas Southern, second-year coach. has found some
Is it
success.
Dishman's also a second-year coach? Is this his second?
Yes. This is the second
Okay.
year. But
yeah, so you had 5. So you had 5 coaches that were hired going into the 2024 season.
Right. And now the one thing Dishman has over all those other coaches is his professional football career. So maybe understanding it from that level has allowed him to do it, because this is the same thing that he was dealing with as a player, the business side of football, the business side of sports. I'm just throwing out theories as I'm talking through this, because that's the only outlier in those 5 that's noticeable. That's the one noticeable outlier, was Dishman played multiple years in the league.
But when you say that, Drew, Dishman was the only one who didn't have head coaching experience. Let me think. Graves had head coaching experience, even though it was the interim. Colsey had head coaching experience
in Canada.
Thomas. Okay, I mean, Jesus.
No, I'm just saying his experience was in Canada. Well, I'm not docking him.
Okay, I mean, Terrence Graves was as the interim head coach for 2 games. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, okay, but anyway, Alcorn, Cedric Thomas. Did Cedric have previous head coaching experience?
That I don't know.
And then Mickey Joseph had head coaching experience, right? So, I don't know that. So your outlier, you may be onto something. I don't know. But
maybe the fact that he they say he did not have that previous head coaching experience. He didn't know how it used to be done. Maybe that's another factor, because he did not know how it used to be done.
I mean, see, we're so critical. We're so critical. I love my dog. What has Chrisman really done in the SWAC West? Well, Kelvin,
he's in second place right now.
He's 3-1. He's 3-1. He's got the second best record, and
one play from being 4-0.
One play from being 4-0. Exactly. Their season and previews could easily be flipped. What did the kids do? 6-7, 6-7. I mean, you could easily flip Texas Southern and Prairie View season right now by one play. That's the difference between their season. Head-to-head matchup, one play. I think Dishman has done a great job to date, and we're at the midway point of the season. Let me ask this question as we get ready to go to break. The 5 coaches, right? Mm-hmm. 5 coaches. We talked over and under last week. Let's put a real over and number together. 2.5. I'm going to set the line at 2.5. How many of the 5 are going to be back next year, Drew? The 5 coaches in the second year of the SWAC, in their second year of coaching in the SWAC, I'm setting the line at 2.5. How many of the 5 will be back next year?
Can we put an asterisk with this before we answer this?
No.
And the reason
the
reason I'm saying is because success brings opportunities. So you may see somebody who having a successful season, such as a Dishman, get an opportunity elsewhere. So when you say not be back,
will they be back with the SWAC school that they are currently coaching at right now?
So if somebody gets a job somewhere else at a higher level,
that means they leave. Okay. That means they leave. So
all right.
How many of the 5 will be back next year coaching with the current SWAC team? There's 5 of them. The line is 2.5. Tell me how many, you guys in the chat, go ahead and start. I see some people typing 2s and 3s. You tell me how many are coming back next year for their third year. That's the thing. All right. Let's take a break.
It depends on the buyout of the contracts. Some of them will have to be back because although they may not be wanted, there's no way that the schools can afford to get rid of them.
Okay. Whatever justification you want to put behind it, so be it. All right. Because sounds like some people don't even think about that kind of stuff. They just ready to get rid of them. All right. Let's talk a little SIAC and CIAA football on the other side. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
College football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan and A.D. here. Again, appreciate you guys all jumping in. Hit the thumbs up button wherever and however you're watching us. Shout out to the folks watching on Instagram Live, on Twitter. Those of you watching on the YouTube feeds via the BCSN SportsWrap or the MyJBN Online, the Black College Sports Network YouTube feed. Hello to everybody watching on Facebook as well. The question before the break was, of the 5 second-year SWAC coaches, how many of them will make it to year 3? The line is 2.5. Drew, I give it to you now. A lot of people I saw earlier typing in Israel Carey says 3. Adrian says 0. Obviously he must not know that Chris Dishman is a part of that mix, so that's tough, Adrian. Chip says 4 will be back. Mr. Jackson says 2 will be back. Let me see, and I think that's it. I think that's it. All right, what do you say, Drew?
We'll be back 3.
3 will be back. All right. I'm going to save you from yourself. I'm not going to ask you even to name them. I'm just going to say 3.
No, I'm not. I wouldn't do that. Now, can I add a caveat to it?
Sure, of course, because that's what
I don't. Of those 3 that come back, I'm going to put it at one of them won't make it through the next season, though.
Through the end of the 3rd year?
Yes.
Well, we'll worry about next year. We'll worry about next year. Again, I understand it's a business. But is it really a business? To the degree that I think some of you, and again, I think you have to sometimes move away from the college athletic business that you see being run at the FBS level and look at the FCS HBCU prism of the college football business. It is completely different. It's completely different. We can't compare those pieces of fruit. We just can't, and so that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that. Over in the SIC yesterday, Drew's Morehouse Maroon Tigers get their third consecutive win. What's the record now after beating Lane College? What's the record now, Drew?
3-4.
3-4. 3 in a row. And we laughed. We laughed earlier when Drew. What was your preseason prediction, Drew? 5-5 at least.
I said they could win 6 in conference.
6 in conference. Yes, some of us laughed. I mean, but you're almost there. You're halfway to 500. And then if you just did a peek ahead, there's an opportunity given the opponent next week. But we won't do that. We'll enjoy the win now while you got it. I was looking at the homecoming list. Albany State on homecoming got a 7-3 victory over Tuskegee. 7-3. I don't know what to make of that, Drew. 7-3. I'm just looking at the box score here.
I got the inside.
No Isaiah Knowles.
Got the inside scoop from Charles Ward. They held Isaiah Knowles out another week as he's recovering, and the number 2 quarterback got hurt in the game. So Albany State was actually playing their third quarterback, the number 3.
Okay. Albany State's. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, and Tuskegee had multiple times to score, but could not put it in the end zone.
I was gonna mention Albany State got a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Tuskegee got a field goal in the third, a 50-yard field goal in the third quarter, and that was all the scoring that there was. Just taking a quick glance at the team stats. Total offense, Albany State, 284 yards. 284 yards of total offense. Tuskegee, 196. A total of 10 punts in the ball game. 6 by Tuskegee, 4 by Albany State. Just kind of seeing what the turnovers look like. There was only really 1 interception per team, so a total of 2. Third down efficiencies. Woo, check this out, Drew. Tuskegee was 1 of 12 on third down. Now, they were 2 of 6 on fourth down. And Albany was 4 of 15 on third down and 2 of 5 on fourth down. So Albany State was in the red zone twice, scored once. Tuskegee only 1 time in the red zone. Tough ball game. Let's see. Also taking place. Let me see who else was on homecoming. Miles College on homecoming gets a 27-20 win over Clark. Man, what has happened to the Clark Panthers? We were, I guess the rat poison has finally kicked in, huh? Clark dropping to 2-5, 1-4 in conference play. as Miles gets a homecoming win, 27-20. Miles improves to 2-6 overall, 2-3 in conference play. The big game that I think was not talked about nearly enough, I mean, was Benedict traveling to Edward Waters, traveling to Jacksonville. Not quite a homecoming, not homecoming yet for Edward Waters. But Edward Waters was on the heels of losing to Kentucky State for their homecoming the week before. I mean, they got really beat. It was like 41-17 or something like that. Benedict gets a 31-27 victory over Edward Waters. Let's see. Quick glance here. I think it was Kentucky State. Did he get a late score? I'm trying to the scoreboard. The score thing is kind of off here. As I look at the box score here. Give me a second here. Yeah, it does look like Darius Ocean in the fourth quarter completed a touchdown pass to Tristan Morgan to give Benedict a 31-27 lead with 26 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. So talk about a game that kind of went back and forth. Total offense in that contest. Edward Waters rushed for 269 of their 426 on the ground. Benedict got 268 passing of their 429 in the air. So oil and water, Drew. 70 plays for Benedict, 68 for Edward Waters. Both teams averaging about 6.1 to 6.2 per play. Penalties, both teams nearly had 10. Benedict had 10 penalties. Edward Waters had 9. Just kind of looking here. Interceptions, 2 interceptions by Benedict, 1 fumble lost by Edward Waters. Time of possession practically even, 30 minutes each. I mean, this was a pretty good game. If you got it, I think, did it air on ESPN or the SIC network?
Which game was this? No,
Benedict Edward Waters.
That I don't know, Brian. I don't know. I don't think it was the second game on the SIEC. It were two games on, but I don't think that was the second one. I don't remember what the second one was.
Yeah, Edward Waters averaged 8.7 per rush. So you see slide there. He's deep dive into the SIC. You can catch Sly and our good friends Sly and Jamie. They do a great SIC show on HBCU Game Day Network. I think you guys do that show on Wednesday or Thursday, Sly. Sly, ouch. Sly said it was a terrible stream on the SIC network. That's tough. A good game was missed. Put it like that. If it was a bad stream,
Check 1, 2. Not sure if Brian is still there or not. Let's do this because Brian has the main script. Let's take a commercial break. You'll watch the BCSN SportsWrap with Bryan and A.D. We'll be right back.
Wait a minute. There we are.
Oh,
okay.
There you back?
There. Yeah,
I have no idea because I had no idea where you were at, so I was about to take a break. You're still not back. Let's take a break, Brian, and try to get everything worked out. We'll be right back here on the BCSN SportsWrap.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
College football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
You're going to learn to stop talking about my SIAC teams like that, Brian. Just in case y'all didn't know, Brian officially got sniped.
Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Yeah, I'm back. That was very odd. Rarely have I had those kind of issues. It's been a while, and this is supposed to be the high end internet connection spectrum that y'all got me. So they got me. I don't know if there really is such a thing. All right. So I think when we left, we were talking. We were just kind of putting a bow. I guess we can put a bow on the Benedict Edward Waters game. Benedict improves to 7-0. 6-0 in conference play.
Game of the year next week in the SIAC.
Isn't every week is shaping up to be like that in the SIAC right now?
Benedict Edward Waters. That's going to be the game of the week on the Division II level. Game of the year.
They just played. What are you talking about? They just played.
I mean Benedict Albany State. I'm sorry.
Oh, so Benedict goes from Edward Waters to Albany State. Well, look, the question is, will Albany State have Isaiah Knowles? If they don't have Isaiah Knowles, I think you have to heavily favorite Benedict at home in this contest. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you agree?
And if you have Isaiah Knowles, you would have to heavily favor Albany State, despite being on the road. You know, I think he was intentionally held out of this game to make sure he's as close to 100% as possible, because they know this game is for the marbles. Now, Albany State does have the cushion. Should they lose this game and finish tied with Kentucky State, they will still get a berth in the SIAC championship game, although it be on the road and have to go back to Columbia, South Carolina to face Benedict, because they do own the tiebreaker against Kentucky State. But should Kentucky State and Benedict wind up tied, and that would come by way of an Albany State victory, it's going to be interesting to see. Both of them would have lost to Albany State. Both schools would have beaten Edward Waters, which would be a tiebreaker because you go to your next highest finisher. Those last 2 weeks are going to have to play out, and we're going to have to see if we can get to a tiebreaker on the field with common opponents before we have to get into all these numbers.
Kentucky State, it's an interesting and I'm curious, and Sly's in the chat. I'd love to hear Sly and his take on this, and maybe you and Jamie, maybe we're giving you a story conversation for your show. Between Kentucky State and Benedict, which story is the better story right now in the SIC? I mean, Kentucky State just got a win over Franklin Pierce, 17-14, which, given the changes and the travel, that's an impressive non-conference win. I think
on a short week at that.
On a short week, right? That's an impressive win. And I don't know what the preseason predictions are, but I don't think anybody had predicted or thought Kentucky State and Benedict would be in the top four, top three, excuse me. So what about you? Which one would you give? Which one would you say is in the best story of the year lead right now?
Oh, definitely Kentucky State. Definitely Kentucky State. And while I talk, Brian, you're buffering again. I don't know if you've seen it on your end. No one expected Kentucky State. Kentucky State has been, along with the other northern institutions, Central State, two institutions who have been in flux. We're not even talking about the athletic programs. Those institutions have been in flux. Benedict has seen success recently. Kentucky State has not really seen success since pre-pandemic. So the story, definitely Kentucky State. Remember, a couple years ago, they had their athletic director out there coaching because they could not get a coach hired.
Good point. Yeah, I'm looking at something here, Drew. I don't know why my connection is buffering in and out. I'm like getting a good connection. My upload speed is good. My download speed is good. I don't understand what's going on here, but all right. Well, keep my internet in your prayers, folks. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Use your phone to surf. Just keep your computer so we can.
Yeah, I already took my phone off the Wi-Fi. I already did that. The only thing that's on right now is the TV. Maybe I got to cut the TV off too, which is anyway. It's not supposed to work that way, Drew. Supposed to be able to run multiple, streams. But anyway,
neighborhood outage.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, but that is the standings are again. Benedict in first place, unbeaten in conference play, unbeaten overall, 7-0. Albany State also unbeaten in conference play at 5-0. Played one less conference game, according to the standings, 6-1 overall. Kentucky State is 5-1, 6-2 overall. So on an 8-game schedule, Kentucky State down to their last two opponents. The last two opponents for Kentucky State are, I'm just scrolling here, Clark Atlanta and Lane. That should be 2 victories. The way Kentucky State is playing.
Yes.
For Albany Benedict is up. Following Benedict plays the conference opponent is Savannah State on November.
And then the Fountain City. After Savannah State will come the Fountain City Classic there, Brian. And if there's anybody who has a better...
Well, we're talking about Benedict.
Oh, I thought you said Albany State.
Well, I was eventually... I was just trying it up to show left for you. I was just that Benedict, the last two, of course, is Albany State, then Savannah State. And then, as you mentioned, for Albany State, they have this against Benedict, then Savannah, then the Fountain City against Fort Valley.
Yeah. And if there's anybody who has an opportunity to slip up, Albany State definitely has the harder schedule going down the stretch.
You think?
Well, they still Fort Valley and Albany State in Columbus. Weird things happen when those two teams get together in Columbus, Georgia. The last 1, 2, 3 years, somebody has knocked somebody out of contention in that game. Who was the favorite?
Right. Game is scheduled to be Eastern kickoff. It is on ESPN Plus. So
they got that right.
Yeah, I wonder if I wonder who's going to do that game. Is it going to be Sly? Is it going to be Jamie? I wonder who's got the assignment. One of those guys who has the assignment for that game. Or
maybe McNeil.
It could be. The rest of the SIC now falls into that mix of 3-2, 2-3. You've got 6 schools all sitting at either 3-2 and 2-3,
including
Morehouse, who's currently 3-2. There you go, Drew. All right.
Here we go. Brian, there's your answer.
Cade Crenshaw. Okay. All right.
You know who the color is for that, Sly?
Might be Sly. Sly doing color?
I think Sly's got a game for wearing.
Okay. Let's jump over to the CIAA. We don't get a chance always to give a lot of mention to the Division I or Division II, or as we like to call it with the rankings, the under Division I, D2. But the homecoming games that occurred, let's see, from the 18th, you had Shaw, Johnson C. Smith with a 52 a 50 burger on Shaw for homecoming. Take that. How you like them apples? Damn, that's hardcore. Winston-Salem State, congratulations. I see WSSU Ram Nation in the house, in the chat room. 42-10. Label me as surprised. I mean, it was all doom and gloom just a week ago for Winston-Salem State, but look at the way they rebounded against Livingstone, 42-10. I wouldn't have predicted that. Not at all. Also on homecoming, it was Virginia Union, 66-21 victory over Lincoln, PA. Bowie State put an end to Bluefield State's winning streak, 2-7. Takeaway those CIW matchups, Drew.
You buff it again on me, Brian.
Ways for those CIAA matchups.
In the CIAA, wait a minute, let me pull up my.
Shaw won their Super Bowl last week.
I'm gonna tell you first thing that sticks out to me is the fact that Bowie State, the BSU versus BSU matchup did not turn out to be BS, and Bowie State got back on the right side of football. Been a while since we've seen Bowie State on the right side of football. Brian, Virginia State winning by 4 over ECSU, considering what some other schools have done to ECSU, it's interesting. Johnson's with Fayetteville State being off, getting a chance to sit back. And what I'm looking forward to, Brian, Johnson C and Fayetteville have to go heads up against each other. Right now, those are your two teams playing for that second spot in the CIAA championship. As long as Union can stay healthy, I think they're going to be there.
I was trying to take a glance at some of the numbers from a couple of those games that you mentioned.
And just before you get to that, November 1 is Johnson C and Fayetteville.
All right. So the standings right now, Fayetteville State and Virginia Union still unbeaten at 4-0 in conference play. Is this updated, though? Yeah, because Fayetteville State was off.
Steve, is the CIAA correct?
Exactly. Fayetteville State had a bye week, so you know
that's
I can't
right.
keep, Johnson C is 3-1, 6-1 overall. All right, and this upcoming week, Winston-Salem State travels to Johnson C. Smith. Yikes. Fayetteville State travels to Shaw. Yikes. Bowie State travels to Virginia Union. Yikes. So interesting matchups. Those three teams, a collision course is coming, as you mentioned, November 1, Johnson C at Fayetteville. Let's see. Just kind of peeking ahead to the last week of the season. Winston-Salem State travels to Fayetteville State. So, how interesting could it be that the Rams could play spoiler with taking on two of the top three teams in these final 2 weeks?
Say that again.
I said the Rams could play spoiler to some effect because they play Fayetteville State on November 8th. And, of course, as you mentioned, next week they play at Johnson C. But now both of these are road games. So, it is what it is, right?
Could be interesting.
And Steve says they win both. They own both series. Okay, well, all right. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Okay. Just glancing here. Any other story recaps from last week that we mentioned? I was looking at the homecoming schedule for next week. So if not, I can mention who's on homecoming this week.
Brian, the hell with homecoming this upcoming week. We got some real sexy matchups coming up in the I won't say sexy. We've got some important matchups coming up in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The sexiest matchup right now, and you would have called this in July, at least on the FCS level, has to be Central and Delaware State going heads up week 1 in BAC play.
Well, there's a tie-in, Drew, because guess whose homecoming it is? North Carolina Central's homecoming.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. North Carolina Central is one of nearly a dozen schools that have homecomings this Saturday. Norfolk State also has homecoming this upcoming weekend. So here's the homecoming list. You got Bethune-Cookman having homecoming. Clark Atlanta has their homecoming. Hampton and Howard have homecoming. So three MEAC schools who are all hosting games to start conference play have homecoming games. Howard, Norfolk State, and North Carolina Central. Lincoln, PA has homecoming this weekend. Prairie View, homecoming. Savannah State, homecoming. Virginia State has homecoming. So those are the football playing schools that have homecoming. And as you said, Drew, no sexier matchup to open up MEAC play than what we get there between Delaware State and North Carolina Central. Do you have the schedule pulled up for the MEAC games?
And in 2.3 seconds, I will.
All right.
Got it.
All right. I got it too.
Yes, somebody asked, would the game be on TV? Yes. Delaware State, North Carolina Central is 1 o'clock. It is on ESPN Plus. In fact, the full slate of MEAC games are on ESPN Plus this year. I mean,
and they're all spaced out.
Me. Yes,
they're all spaced out nicely. The Central game is at 1. The Norfolk State
Eastern.
Hosting South Carolina State, 1 Eastern. Norfolk State hosting South Carolina State is a 2 o'clock start. And then Howard hosting Morgan, the annual battle between Erica and Banks. That'll be fun to follow on Twitter all week. That's at 3:30.
So, Brian, of the all 3 of these are homecoming games.
Correct.
Of these 3 homecoming games, who made the worst mistake choosing this game to be the homecoming game? Let's go over this again. Delaware State at Central for homecoming. South Carolina State at Norfolk State, homecoming. Morgan State at Howard, homecoming. Who made the worst mistake?
Okay. Can I echo Dr. Cavill's sentiments regarding that very topic about making a mistake with scheduling? Because all these MEAC schools were off this past Saturday, ideally, I'm sure all of them would have wanted this past Saturday to be their homecoming, but they were on bye. So either you have it last week, if you were fortunate enough to be home. And if I go back and look at the previous week,
Delaware State was at home.
Norfolk State was on the road.
That was their homecoming, I believe.
Right, but hold on a second. Watch this. Central was on the road 2 weeks ago. Norfolk State was on the road 2 weeks ago. And who's the third opponent? Who's the third? Howard? Howard was on the road. So that means, Drew, they would have had it the first weekend of October.
And they were all
and
on the
guess
road.
what? All of them were on the road then. So you're kind of screwed based on scheduling. This was the only time you can do it.
And I understand that, but that's not my question, Brian.
Okay.
Who
But you
made
like to put
the worst mistake?
you like to do little caveats and asterisks on stuff. So
So you
I
gave
just
your
wanted to point that out.
asterisk.
Okay,
Who
so
made the worst mistake?
I guess Norfolk State did. Norfolk State. I mean, they knew South Carolina State was the defending NEAC champs. But again, they really were in a tough spot because if I look at this is Norfolk State's only home game in October, Drew. You had to play it this weekend. You couldn't avoid it. This was your only game in October. So,
And November homecomings don't work good for Northeast teams.
no. October's a beautiful season to have homecoming. That's why you have them. So it is what it is. And I'm sure North Carolina Central, nobody thought Delaware State would be who they are right now. So you were kind of thinking, but they too were in a similar situation where they had to have it when they had it. So let's not beat these schools up. Let's not do what Tremaine Jackson
I'm not beating them up, but
let's not be that guy and talk about don't ever schedule us for homecoming again. Come on, coach. Come on. You really think they had a choice? You really think they wanted to play you for homecoming? Hell no, they didn't want to play you for homecoming.
Bulletin board material. But Brian, this last thing before we get off to Central Delaware State. I know he can never say this publicly. And I am not and I have to say this, I am not saying this as somebody who does work for ESPN Plus or the Cricket Celebration Bowl. But I know there's somebody who is quietly rooting who would potentially be quietly rooting, because I know he can't root publicly, for Central to beat Delaware State. The storyline that you can have with Central beat Delaware State gives them a path to winning the MEAC. Central returning to Atlanta to be the first team potentially to start the season in Atlanta and finish the season in Atlanta. Starting the season with the victory in the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff and finishing the season in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. In between that, they will have victories over brand name programs such as Southern, such as Florida A&M, such as South Carolina State if they win the MEAC. And with the way things are playing out right now, a matchup against potentially Jackson State in the Cricket Celebration Bowl in the 10th anniversary of the Cricket Celebration Bowl, Brian. Think about the storylines that are all sitting out there, the low-hanging fruit.
I'm gonna give you I'm gonna trump your I hate to use that word. Your storyline. I'm gonna come with a spade.
How about one up me? That's not used.
I'm gonna come up with a spade card here. I'm gonna come with if you want to come with your ace of spades, if you want to come with the ace, you want to come with the ace of diamonds. I'm the ace of spades. I'm gonna pull out the two of diamonds here. Okay. I'm gonna come with the two of diamonds. If Delaware State takes care of business Saturday, wins and defeats North Carolina Central, and carries it forward with either 4 or 5 wins in the MEAC, which I think is possible. You walk in there with Deshaun Jackson in his first year, former NFL player. Remember what the numbers were at the Celebration Bowl when another former NFL player, all-pro, all-star, whatever, right? He brought in some really big numbers into the Celebration Bowl. And I think if Delaware State does what many people thought would be impossible, and I'm using the word impossible, Show me an article or show me a prediction from anybody in the diaspora that had Delaware State being A, 500 or plus 500 going into the MEAC play, 2, being a contender, and 3, getting into the Celebration Bowl. Show me somebody, and I'm buying that person a cup of coffee from Starbucks.
Brian, you can't even find an article that did not have them finishing 6 in the MEAC.
My point.
I don't even think I don't think there was anybody who published anything that had them finishing 5. That's how bad everybody thought Delaware State was going to be.
Exactly.
Now,
this would be the best story. You know, I know we talking storylines. The Delaware State winning the MEAC under Deshaun Jackson is a story that's going to capture the NFL Network's attention. It's going to capture ESPN. It's going to capture all of the ABC entities that are already a part of the ESPN events family. They will all be centered in and focused on this game.
I'm gonna give you
what does Sly say? The storyline of Central. I agree. I agree 100%, Sly. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going with what I'm saying. So
the only thing that would possibly trump that, and this the likelihood.
You just said it. What do you say? It's one strike against you. You just said Trump. Come on.
No,
now. See,
I'll say the only thing that would possibly trump because the chances of this is happening are going to be slim. Is if Vic and Norfolk State wind up there. Because of his ties to Atlanta, but the likelihood of that happening, Brian, are slim to none.
That's like plus 3,000. The odds, I'm not even setting the odds. I'm telling you the odds on Norfolk State. No, it's on the board. It's at plus 50,000 though. That's the board. It's like that's on the shot. But plus 5,000 is what the odds are for that to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And before we go into our next break, Brian, since we are talking about ESPN events, I just have to put something out there, Brian. I have nothing to do with Band of the Year voting. It is just ironic, Brian, that both the institutions that I have degrees from are at the top of the rankings in their respective categories, with Florida A&M and Tuskegee being at the top of the Red Lobster Band of the Year rankings.
You actually had people hit you up about that? You actually had people hit you up about that?
No, but I just want to put it out there before somebody hits
you just wanted to brag. Now, go ahead, just say you wanted to brag.
Right, I wanted to brag.
There you go.
Both Tuskegee and FAMU.
Can I put an asterisk on it and say, I love the fact asterisks and still rank teams. Bands.
Say it again.
Sorry, not teams. I said I'm going to put an asterisk by my comment and say I love the fact that they still enter teams that, or I keep saying teams, but bands that took themselves out, they still put an asterisk.
Just because you decide not to compete doesn't mean you can't be ranked. And Brian,
we do it all the time. Exactly.
We do it all the time. But can I just put, since we on this Band of the Year things and we going off on this tangent.
Since we're on it, you brought this up. We weren't.
I brought it up. It's on me. It's 100% me. It's 100% me.
Go ahead. Since you did it.
I need people to stop fussing about these Band of the Year rankings, and because I understand we're all passionate about them, but I need y'all to understand something. If you watch figure skating, if you watch gymnastics, think about that when you think about the scoring when it comes to the Red Lobster Band of the Year contest. Just like those judges have a rubric that they score you against when you do your routine on the floor or on the ice. And those routines are judged independently of each other. And then when they get them all together, then they see who finished 1, who finished 2. But those are judged independently. You have to remember that these teams are not competing against each other. They're only competing against themselves and the rubric.
Thank you, Troy. Thank you, Road Dog. Appreciate you.
Oh, am I over talking?
No, just here we are going down the street, and then Drew's like, "Hey, look, there's a cow. Let's go take a look at that field over there."
By the way, great job, Steve, once again with the content on the Bad of the Year rankings, Steve.
Yes.
But Bryan, let's go to break. I just gotta put this on to take you to break, Bryan, before we get into the rankings.
Is that the first one that you put off the ledge? Wow, Drew. Wow, that's hardcore right there. All right, Drew. You can see Drew with some extra time. Great graphics there. The HBCU ledge. Jeez Louise. Sorry, Southern. Officially, we don't do a bottom five, but man, they would be there, in my opinion, in my bottom five.
And you see who's next in line.
Ooh, yeah. Interesting matchups. Again, I told you in the SWAC, you can talk about sometimes as interesting as the games among the top teams are. Let's not forget about the matchups between the bottom dwellers, because they come with extra storylines too. So let's talk about them. Let's finish up with the SWAC preview, and then get into the BCSN week number 2 top 5 rankings right here on the other side. The BCSN SportsWrap on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
Football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
With over 25 years of serving our communities, Destiny Financial Services, a division of Global Life, is here to help you and your family through difficult times. From cancer care to accidental industries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life, but you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call DFS at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com. That is 877-300-8269, or again, the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year, a title reserved for elite HBCU marching bands. A season-long competition that culminates in Atlanta on Friday, December 12th. Drum majors, percussion, drill, auxiliaries, musicality. All aspects will be examined by the toughest judges in the world of college bands. 4 will qualify for the big stage, where national champions will be crowned. Follow us on social media for rankings updates throughout the season. And join us in Atlanta on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit bandoftheyear.com.
Wrong button.
You know what, Drew? I hit. You know what? I saw. You know what? I'm used to that. I'm used to something changed in the over. And I don't know, man. I hit the wrong button because normally in that spot is where the stinger is, but something moved, something changed. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I think that was me. I might have rearranged something by mistake.
Okay, see that's what I was wondering, because it was always in that top right spot, and then I'm like, instinctually I just went there, and then I'm like, what is that? So, all right, oh man, what a show! All right, Jeff Roberts says Clark is not on the ledge, Drew. Even though, what is there? Hold on, let me go to the standings again. Let me go back and look. Clark, Atlanta, 1-4 in conference play, 2-5. What was Clark preseason prediction?
2.
Okay. All right. But they're not on the ledge, Jeff. I'll take your word on it.
And Steve,
right.
It has been updated to meet your specifications.
There we go. I started to notice that. Ram. There he is. The Rams on the ledge. Right. Interesting that you have Tuskegee on the ledge, Drew. That's interesting. Oh, yeah? Yeah, you know. You've heard it. You've heard it. All right. All right, let's talk about the SWAC games upcoming, and then let's get into the top 5. Let's release the new week number 2 top 5 rankings. Again, the standings have kind of shuffled a little bit after some wins and losses. Of course, all the top teams were on bye in the East. Jackson State was on a bye. Alabama State was on a bye. Bethune-Cookman was on a bye. Alabama A&M was on a bye. Jackson State, Alabama State, Bethune-Cookman, that's your 1, 2, 3. Florida A&M moved into 3rd by just being 1-1. Alabama A&M is in 5th with a 1-2 conference record, despite having a 4-3 overall record, which is better than Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman. And Valley still looking for their first win. They're 0-2 in conference play, 1-5. Over on the West, we talked about it earlier. Prairie View is literally a 1-game lead. Actually, you could almost say a 2-game lead over Texas Southern, because even though they have 1 win advantage, not only in conference play, but overall record, that 1 win was against Texas Southern. So essentially, it almost acts as a 2-game buffer between Prairie View and Texas Southern. Grambling got their first win in conference play, so they're 1-2, 4-3 overall. Arkansas Pine Bluff drops to 1-2, 3-4 overall. Alcorn State and Southern still looking for a win as they sit in 0-3. All right, here we go. Interesting matchup. Starting at 2 o'clock Central, 3 Eastern, Valley versus Alcorn State. Wow.
Somebody will get their only SWAC win.
Ooh, that's Drew said that. Only SWAC win. There's a prediction by Drew. Fascinating contest. Arkansas Pine Bluff at Bethune-Cookman, 2 Central, 3 Eastern. I would tend to favor Bethune in that contest.
I do also.
Prairie View A&M hosting homecoming, 2 Central, 3 Eastern. They're taking on Lincoln, California. Lincoln. Okay,
let's move on to the next game that recounts.
I was just going to make mention that Lincoln continuing their homecoming tour.
Just don't let them get out of the South. Keep them down south, Prairie View. That's my only advice to you.
Can I give credit to Valley for, and I brought this up on the SWAC TV Game Time show, right? Valley saw that Alcorn beat Lincoln by a score of 42-0. So what did Mississippi Valley State do? They bested them. They beat Lincoln by a score of 49-0. So what y'all gonna do, Prairie View? Can y'all get to 50? Can y'all get to 50? Because if you don't get to 50, we should all look at Tremaine Jackson and Prairie View side-eyed. If you give up any points to Lincoln, we should all look at them side-eyed and say, Valley and Alcorn didn't give up no points. So there you go. I said it.
I'm gonna leave that one alone, Brian.
The Magic City Classic is a 2:30 Central kickoff, 3:30 Eastern. Alabama State versus Alabama A&M. I can't wait for you guys and all the talk about that game. An interesting matchup for many reasons in the East. Florida A&M travels to Southern, 4 Central, 5 Eastern. Talk about a wounded Jaguars. Will Terrence Graves be the head coach? I guess we'll find out Monday when we wake up. Or by noon, maybe by the SWAC coach's call.
We know by the time Cavill gets on Tuesday.
Well, yeah. SWAC coach's call is at 10 Central, 11 Eastern, I guess.
I don't think it'll happen that early.
Okay.
Clue number 1 will be if he's not on the call.
Yeah, that'll be clue number 1. Yeah, or if he's delayed because they're having meetings. But that'll be interesting. And then in Las Vegas, Grambling State versus Jackson State, 5. Now, I wonder, is this 5 Central or 5 Las Vegas time? It's probably 5 Central, which means
3 o'clock in Vegas.
It's
6 o'clock.
It's
Eastern.
What time? 3 o'clock in Vegas?
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 o'clock in Vegas, that's 6 Eastern. That's an HBCU go.
Yes, it's 3 o'clock Vegas time.
Okay. All right. That should be a good game. I know you Jackson State and Grambling State folks have a good time, man. Wear your nail. You make Vegas and the businesses and the hotels and the casinos, make them know that, hey, you HBCU, that we come and we spend just like everybody else, because I think there's a bright future for this Vegas HBCU Classic. So hopefully there's a good attendance and a good crowd, because I'm not gonna lie, Drew, I would love to be able to go to Vegas wearing orange and green. I'm just saying.
I know that there's a tendency when our HBCUs go out on the left coast, there tends to be an attendance bump when we go out there. Los Angeles, Vegas, Phoenix, San Francisco. We tend to do better attendance-wise because there are a lot of HBCU alums out on the left coast who don't get an opportunity to come back. You know, people who could not come to homecoming. If you live in Los Angeles, if you live in Oakland, if you live in San Francisco, in Phoenix, or wherever, Washington, you know, this is a lot easier for you to navigate from where you're at. So a lot of these people will come to those games on the left coast. I expect a good attendance at this game, Brian.
Yeah. Is good attendance mean 40?
Definitely 30 plus. Definitely 30 plus.
Okay.
Definitely 30 plus. I 40 would not shock me.
Okay. It'd be fascinating to see. I hope it happens. Have a good time. Tiger Nation. Tigers, you know, Grambling State and Jackson State. Israel, are you going? Dr. Carey, are you going? Make sure you go. There's unofficial plug. Go check out the Circa Sports Casino and the Circa Hotel.
Matter of fact, don't forget to eat at
Chick-fil-A.
we don't have it here. The Chick-fil-A, Dr. Cavill's Chick-fil-A, from the Prairie View grad on Flamingo Road. That's what I remember. Don't ask me the address, but I know it's on Flamingo Road, number 1. Advice to all going to Vegas: pay your car note, pay your light bill, pay your rent or your mortgage, pay everything before you go out there, and put your money on them tables or in them one-on bandits. Because if you come back disappointed, I don't want you to be homeless when you're getting back.
Good stuff, Drew. Great advice. You know, I've yet to get a chance to go to Vegas. I'm very envious of everybody who is making plans to go. Very envious.
See, Sly, you asked too many questions.
You know what, Sly? I love that. Yes. You know what? No, I'm gonna set it at 32-5. 32-5.
No, you didn't see the second part.
Wait a minute. Oh, Jesus.
That's why I say you asking too many questions, Sly. You never know that part. You'll never know the answer to number 2.
Yeah, I would love for there to be some more honest transparency of every school should be counting students. Memo, FAMU. We should count the students. Everybody who comes through the gates should be counted. Attendance matters.
Speaking of attendance matters, Brian, you know the official attendance yesterday for homecoming at FAMU was 0.
I saw it was like 19,000 something.
They didn't put it on the. On the box score.
They got time to update it. But I heard it was 19,000 something. Yeah, for some reason they've been really late with supporting or with reporting the attendance. You know, wherever they're getting, I don't know. That's just the thing. I've noticed that the last 4 home games now, it's been a little slow getting those numbers to be able to add it to the thing there. So, all right, let's go to our week number 2. Oh, sorry to hear that, Doc. Sorry to hear. All right.
Yeah.
Are we being funny?
No, it was 17-8 at Morehouse's homecoming.
All right. All right, hold tight so we can get into the BCSN top 5. Okay. And now we go to week number 2 of the BCSN top 5 HBCU football rankings. These are computer-based rankings, not polls. We have the data, and we let the data speak for itself as to who the top teams in HBCU football are. So we have the under Division 1, which is made up of NCAA Division 2 and NAIA. We don't have any NAIAs, but we still call it under D1. Maybe we should change the name of this, Drew. There's the boss, Roy Evans. He says we should change that name.
They're just not competitive this year.
All right. Well, he keeps saying we should change it, but anyway. So we have under D1, and then we have Division 1. So those are the 2 levels that we have. So how do we want to do this, Drew? You want to go from in the hunt first?
Yeah, well, you know, it's all on one. It's all on one, so we can just talk about it.
Okay, so in the hunt, and now are you able to tell me by looking at last week's or any of these end of the hunt teams that they drop out?
Okay, let me give me a second. I can pull up last week's graphic on my other screen.
All right, so I will read the teams that are in the hunt. Essentially, if
one dropped out.
One of the teams in the hunt.
One in the hunt was in the top 5 last week.
Okay, so here we go. This would be the teams that were in the hunt that just missed breaking into the top 5. With 513 points, Fayetteville State dropped out of the. What did they? Is that the team that dropped out of the top 5?
They were not in.
So they're still trying to get into the top 5. Winston-Salem State sits at 470 points. Essentially, that would be 7th. Edward Waters, 468.
They dropped out. They
are dropped out of the top 5, essentially to 8th. And then Virginia State at 430 points would be the number 9 team. Those are the teams that were closest to making the top 5. All right, Drew, you got the controls. Let's go to the under D1 from 5 up.
You want to read them, then put the graphic up, or you want to put the graphic up?
Yeah, let's put the graphic. I can read. I got it pulled up. I'll start from the bottom. And any of these, let me know if any of these are new as I'm reading them. All right, so here we go. In 5th place, Johnson C. Smith, 554 points. And Johnson C. was on a bye, so probably a result of Edward Waters dropping out. Johnson C was just outside of the top 5, if I'm not mistaken, last week. In 4th place, Kentucky State, 599 points. I don't think they really moved from 4, which is where they were a week ago. Number 3 is Albany State, in the same spot as they were a week ago. Number 2, the unbeaten Benedict Tigers, 743 points. I believe they were number 2 last week as well.
Correct.
And number 1 for the second consecutive week, the Virginia Union Panthers, 765 points. All right, Drew. Not much happening there. I think these are all quality opponents that we have seen. Any surprises? Nothing surprises me here. Anything surprise you?
No, not really. Actually, yeah. Winston-Salem being with the computers liking Winston-Salem as much as they do kind of surprises me, because Winston-Salem is not having a record-wise, is not having a great year. They're hovering around 500. So the fact that they are that high and the computers like them tells you what Winston-Salem should be. If they actually were above 500, what would Winston-Salem truly be at? I think they would be they have the talent to be a top 5 program according to our computer.
Yeah. Blue Jacket asked who was number 7.
That would be Winston-Salem.
Yeah, Winston-Salem would be number 7.
Yeah. So and that's probably why Steve has the frustration that he has, because he knows how good this team can be.
Okay. Well, there's your top 5 on the under D1. Yeah, Doc says we should maybe just start calling it HBCU mid-major. Maybe, if he doesn't mind sharing that name, maybe we'll show some synergy and maybe start having to adopt and use that name as well. Something to talk about for next year, I guess. Okay, moving over to the Division I side. I don't expect much change, but we'll see.
And in the Division I, one team did drop out. Oh, I'm sorry. I turned my camera off.
I think that one team is probably the team that is number 6, if I'm not mistaken, Delaware State.
Yes, they were on a bye and they dropped out.
Yeah, computer doesn't like it when you have a bye week for some reason. So they dropped to 475 points.
They really didn't lose too many points. It was just the fact that the other teams gained points by playing.
Correct. And it all evens out in the wash, guys. So don't panic. Alabama A&M, the other team that's in the hunt, they're practically 7th. Nobody else really of significance. Not enough points garnered by Grambling State to move into what we would call our in the hunt range. So just sitting outside of the top 5 is Delaware State and Alabama A&M. All right, let's get to the top 5, the Division I top 5. And there we go. Even though Drew's got a little logo mishap there. We got to tell the intern he's got some logos mixed up.
Ooh.
Yeah. We'll get people from the folk from the Texas school is going to be upset at us for that. At number 5, Prairie View A&M, 488 points. They're moving into the top 5 by virtue of a win over Southern. Texas Southern is number 4, 538 points. Number 3, still holding at number 3, is North Carolina Central, 545 points. Only 7 points separate Texas Southern and North Carolina Central. That's fascinating to me. Fascinating that only 7 points separate Texas Southern and North Carolina Central according to computers. Number 2 is Alabama State, 554 points, only 9 points separating Alabama State and North Carolina Central. I find that equally interesting. And, of course, number 1 for the second consecutive week, Jackson State Tigers, Number one, second consecutive week, the defending HBCU BCSN top 5 national champs, 610 points. So this week, turns out by virtue of Delaware State dropping out, we don't get a top 5 matchup between Central and Delaware State, Drew. But we do get, a top 7 matchup, I guess. Delaware State versus North Carolina Central. And then we also get Alabama A&M versus Alabama State. So there we go.
Same one again. Just waiting on the new graphic to load. There we go. Once again, number 5, Prairie View, 488 points. Number 4, Texas Southern, 539 points. Number 3, North Carolina Central, 545 points. Number 2, Alabama State, 555 points. And number 1, Jackson State, 610 points, Brian.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see if there's any real changes that come this week. I think, 4 out of the 5 are SWAC schools.
Well, the big change is obviously going to be number 3 versus number 6.
I'll tell you who's really far out of our computer rankings, and I'm not going to say it, but because that was just brought up, like South Carolina State and Howard. I mean, if we had a top 10 for these rankings, South Carolina State and Howard are not even in the top 10. 8 of the top 10 are SWAC schools, according to the computers. That part is interesting. Cookman would be Cookman. If there was a top 10, Cookman would be in the 10. Cookman would be in the 10.
You got to remember, Cookman is under 500 also, Band Talk.
Good point.
And I think once the MEAC teams actually get into conference play, that's going to boost their ratings also.
Yeah, you're on to something with that. I think you're 100% right on that.
Yeah, because computers love conference play.
They do. All right. Well, thank you. I think that's pretty much it for this. Good stuff, Drew. Any final thoughts here? It's been a long weekend as we both have survived homecoming. And where is what's Morehouse? What's the schedule again for Morehouse this upcoming? You're traveling to Savannah State, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct. And Sly, there was one MEAC team in there. Central was number 3 by the computers.
Yeah. Again, 4 of the 5 are SWAC with 1 MEAC, so one of the
and Delaware
5,
was 6.
And so one of the 5, 2 of the 7, 2 of the top 10 are MEAC schools. So we'll see. Again, like as Drew said, MEAC schedule is about to start. We'll see what happens. We'll see how conference wins matter. And we'll start to see. Oh, you know what? The one thing we talked about that just offline, Drew, before we close out, we talked about that MEAC schedule and just kind of looking and saying who has the advantage, disadvantage of being at home. And I'm taking a quick glance.
Central has three games at home. Dale State has 1, 2,
Well, don't
3
forget the
games
Dale
at
State
home.
game is a neutral. The
But
Dale State game,
Dale State only has 2 games at
two,
home
yeah,
because
two,
of the
2, and
neutral
1.
site. They gave up their home game.
Right.
And your third team is Howard. So essentially, the 3 teams that open up at home this week have the advantage, Brian.
Okay.
Well, 2 of the 3 teams because no. Let me take that back. Central. Yeah, Delaware State, North Carolina Central, and Howard are your teams that have the 3 home games this year, with Delaware State giving up one of those for the neutral site in Philadelphia, thus leaving North Carolina Central and Howard with the 3-2 flip.
Do you think the winner of the Dell State North Carolina Central game is the front runner to win the MEAC? Yes or no? No
North
caveats.
Carolina Central wins it. Yes, because they have South Carolina State at home. Actually, yes, because both of them get South Carolina State at home. So, yes, the winner of that game is the front runner.
Okay.
Dale State, South Carolina State actually being the last game of the season on November 22nd.
So my last question will be, if not Delaware State or North Carolina Central, who is that dark horse that could win the MEAC?
There is no dark horse. There's only one other team, and they're very much in the light, and that would be South Carolina State. I don't think a dark horse candidate comes out of the MEAC this year. The dark horse candidate is Delaware State.
Call me crazy, which a lot of you do at times. I'm going to tell you to watch out for Howard.
Howard has not impressed me, especially quarterback play, inconsistent, and the running game has not been able to support them, at least in non-conference play. It may turn around in conference play, but Howard has been a team that has consistently been offensively supported by the run game, which keeps the defense off the field. They have not shown that Howard team this year.
I said what I said, and I agree with you, but I still think from a potential standpoint, again, I'm going dark horse here. So my off the radar team, is Howard. That's my long shot. You know, if there were odds, Howard would probably be 8-1 or maybe a 10-1 favorite. Like if I were to handicap this, I would probably say North Carolina Central would be probably about 2-1. South Carolina State would probably be either 3 or 4-1. Dell State,
I think South Carolina State be something like 3-2 or something like that, or 5-3.
But see, you got to be careful because that's saying they're better than 3-2 is still saying better than Central at 2-1. So I would say South Carolina State would probably be more like a 4-1 or even 3-1. And then Dell State would probably be, I mean, again, you're thinking about the preseason predictions compared to actual statistics of what they performed, they'd probably be a 5 or 6-1. And Howard would probably fall in behind that, like 8 or 9-1. So, yeah. And then Morgan would probably fall in at about 12-1, and Norfolk State would be about 40-1. Longest odds on the board. As long as you'll let me, the longest odds you'll let me have, that's them. All right. Looking forward to it. Should be a good week. Hey, did you know, Drew, that the Major League Baseball playoffs, one team is already into the World Series? Did you know that?
The Dodgers.
There you go. They have a game, I believe, a game 6 coming up in the ALCS. Did you know that?
I did not.
Oh, do you know the two teams who are in the ALCS?
It's the Mariners and the Jays.
Okay. All right.
I do know that. I just over the weekend, Brian, with homecoming and everything else, I lost track of where we were at with that.
I know. That's why I brought it up.
Yes.
Did you know the NBA tips off on Tuesday?
So that's why I love the month of October, Brian.
I do too.
You've got baseball, playoffs and World Series, college football, pro football, the start of NHL, the start of NBA, and for some people, some of you guys out there, you still have MLS going on.
Yeah. A smorgasbord of stuff, all kinds of stuff. So good luck keeping up with your sports calendars. Those of you who follow stuff outside of HBCU sports, HBCU football, exhibition basketball games are happening this week and next week. Pay attention. Make sure you're following Live for Hoops. You know, I've seen Liv tweeting out some stuff.
For those of you all in the Atlanta area, Morehouse opens up Friday night. We host, let me say that word again, Brian. We host Georgia State at Forbes Arena Friday night, 7:00.
Is this the start of the regular season?
No, exhibition season.
Exhibition. Okay.
Yeah.
Does Division II start first week in November as well?
No, Division II does not start until the third week, the 14th, 15th, 14th, 15th, 16th
of November.
Yes.
Okay. Division I begins the first week of November.
Yes.
So
they begin
Monday, November 3rd, that's the opening day for college basketball. And there's a plethora of college basketball games that'll be happening, men and women, on that Monday and Tuesday to open up the season.
Yes.
Man, that's going to be a busy week. Busy day. So, all right, let's get out of here, Drew. Thanks to everybody for watching the show. Thanks for picking us up when you did. Sorry we were late, but we always appreciate everybody in their commentary and joining us. Hit the thumbs up and the like button on the YouTube feeds, on the Facebook feeds. Thanks to everybody who's watching on Instagram Live, or if you were also watching on Twitter. We say hello to all of you. Good luck to those who are on the ledge, or fell off the ledge rather. And those of you who are on the ledge, you know, take 2 steps back, take a deep breath, and you know, we'll see. Maybe you won't get kicked off. Maybe you won't jump. Make sure to follow the BCSN Pod Zone everywhere that you listen to podcasts. That's where you can find the BCSN Pod Zone. BCSN Pod Zone, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple, and Google Podcasts. All of the shows from this weekend are going to be uploaded here shortly, so you can start your Monday off in case you missed any of the shows from over the weekend and catch up. Even if you don't listen, hey, just go download, hit the thumbs up, like it, subscribe, rate, review. All helps the algorithm, and we appreciate your patronage on your favorite podcast platform. All right. For A.D. Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Thank you for watching the BCSN SportsWrap, the longest-running sports talk show covering HBCU sports on the interwebs. Peace out, everybody.
Travel light, everybody. We'll holla.